All right, guys. So week 3 is in the books now, and we are coming away with a 36-20 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a great game, and especially after they got going in the second half, it was fun to watch. So today's MVP is definitely Rex Burkhead. He had 3 total touchdowns, and he's always been a favorite of mine. And I'm glad New England fans are finally starting to warm up to him. It's about time. Another two great showings were the offensive line, which we'll get to, and Sony Michel, which I've ragged on forever, but he had a great game Sunday. So Cam also had a good game as well. Not like one of the best so far, but and he had one bad pick, but he looked good enough today, and I think he's going to be okay. So let's talk about the great protection from the O line. David Andrews was out, but Joseph Tooney came in for center for the next, I'd say, probably 2 or 3 weeks. And he looked great, and they protected Cam all day, and it was pretty much smooth sailing on the offensive line front outside of the first couple drives. The defense got some key stops, which is what matters the most. They might not have statistically had the best game, but the Boogeymen came up when it mattered, and I thought that was a good sign. They allowed more points than they usually do, but that's okay because they came up with strip sacks and turnovers for touchdowns when it mattered the most. And they also shut down Darren Waller, which was our biggest threat coming into today. They didn't have Henry Ruggs, which that's one person less that we had to worry about covering. But Waller was the main issue, and I believe he only had maybe 2 catches, if that. And so a few improvements I would make for New England. There's not many because I thought they played a pretty great game after the first few drives. The pass interference calls on the defense, especially with Gilmore and Jackson, that's just their playing style. They're definitely more aggressive, and it usually pays off, but occasionally you get bad pass interference calls, and that's what you get for playing a little too aggressive sometimes. But I think it's worth it because 9 times out of 10 it's great coverage and usually won't bother us too much. And it didn't in the long run, but at the time it was a little frustrating. And another critique I would make is not allowing points in the last 30 seconds of the half. That's uncommon for a Bill Belichick-led defense, but it happens sometimes. Derek Carr made a great play and took advantage of the Gilmore pass interference. Renfrow made a great catch. So I don't have a lot of analysis on today's game. It was kind of smooth sailing after the first few, I'd say, after the first quarter. Nick Folk needs some improvement. That's all I'll say. I'd start Rohrwasser because just like Gostowski toward the end of his run with us, they're guaranteed to have at least one missed kick, and we missed an extra point yesterday. So I'm not the biggest Nick Folk fan, but if he comes up when it matters, then I won't mind. But on to next week, we go to Arrowhead on the road in the primetime 4:30 slot, and for my prediction, I'm going hard overhead, and I'm saying New England pulls the 31-28 upset next week. That might come back to bite me, but I honestly don't really care, and I'd love to see a big win at Arrowhead. So until then, I will see you guys next week after the Kansas City game. Go Pats.